Good morning, friends. It's August 10th, 2019. The way I usually think around this time of year, August, is back to school, right? It's coming up, September. I'll probably be teaching in the fall. I've got Nevada on my list. Been approached by China, but I'm more of a Python guy than a Scratch guy. I love Scratch, and I think Codesters is harder to use. Codesters, by the way, in case I'll get that open. It's been a big feature lately, and it's not synonymous with Python. In fact, Repl.it is another place to do a lot of your Python. And I've got my S module stuff there. So let's see, can I just log in by email? See, I've got Coding with Kids used to be an email address for me, but not anymore. Password, gosh. I'd have to look this up. Hold on, I'm going to pause. So I haven't logged in yet because I wanted to remind myself what it's like to use Repl.it as just an outsider coming to an account, and can I run this guy Kirby's stuff, right? So S&E modules is one I usually go to because it's so relevant to the synergetic stuff. Now Codesters, I was just starting to get into that. If you're new to this channel, Python and futurism a la American Transcendentalism, so literature, are kind of my major topics, right? So what you can do in Repl.it is create your Python on the left, your programs, that's just a big doc string there, the red blob of text is writing to the user and saying, hey, this is what we're able to do. We're able to express the concentric hierarchy of whole number volumes with some irrational volumes in terms of linear combinations of phi-scaled E and S modules, which are defined in terms of phi themselves, in terms of their volumes, right? And we're actually able to use the Greek letter phi, one of the Unicode characters, in our code. So it's just a print table after a bunch of computations where I'm kind of just verifying all of this. I run it, and the output, notice I haven't had to log in at any point yet. And the output didn't come out because you have to have something, yeah, okay, there we go. Have to have some screen real estate prepared to take this painting. And there we go, familiar numbers. Remember the 21.21 for the Super RT, that was a recent video. We went back over quite a few of these. You can start with the Platonic 5 and do a sort of Genesis story where pairs of duals beget zonahedra or rhombic hedra, these diamond-faced hedra. And then go on from there. That's one way to go. You can also, remember, fragment these things into modules. And that's what's going on with, let's see, I had Emergence running yesterday for my AI talk, and I liked that, so I'm going to run that again. It's picking colors at random as well as filling in a hexagonal matrix at random. I actually shuffle the keys from the dictionary every time now just to get a slightly different fill-in pattern, but it's going to fill in all the same hexagons every time with some arbitrarily selected pseudo-random selection of colors. When you talk about pseudo-random, sometimes it's accurate to just think about a big circle of numbers that looks totally random to you, but it's computed and it comes around in a circle, so there's an orbit there and starts over. And you can decide where you want to go on the circle to start, but you're in a closed orbit. That's the way a lot of pseudo-random works. Totally fascinating topic. I recommend you go find good YouTube channels on randomness. Casino math, I call it. And I've got some of that going here, including in Codesters. So the main thing I want to look at, actually, before I tie off loose ends is this poster, because we're going back to school, as I said, and this is probably not a poster in pretty much any school, right? It is a color poster. It was produced decades ago. And what it shows is taking a 2-frequency tetrahedron, so volume 8, right, and chopping it into what we call chef's hats, which have a square interface between the two halves. This is a well-known puzzle, is to just put these two halves on a table and ask someone to make a tetrahedron. It takes them a while to remember to just rotate one relative to the other. So if that's 4, these are each 2, we chop them kind of obliquely, again into 2 equal halves, and we figure out, well, and then if they have the same height, this still follows in synergetics despite different numbers of for volume. You've got 1 for each of these, and therefore these being what are they? They're parts of a octahedron, right? It's going to take 4 of those yellow things, and here he's got the picture and so forth. So the octahedron has volume 4. Now here we chop the octahedron in half by successive means, and we find that adding 6th octahedra, well, they're 8th octahedra actually, but okay, so here's how it goes. 8th octahedra, 6 of them glued to the faces of a regular tetrahedron give us a cube. So since the octahedron's 4 to start, 2, blow those apart, each one of these is going to have a volume 1/2. So we're adding 3 times 1/2, 6 times 1/2. 6, wait a minute, no, 4 times 1/2. 4, 1 for each face of the tetrahedron, obviously, right? So they're 6ths of a cube is what they turn out to be, but they're quarters of a tetrahedron, quarters of half a tetrahedron, 1/8 of a tetrahedron. So 1/8 of a tetrahedron, 4 of them added to 1 times, so these are, what did we say? These are 1 each. No, these are 1/2 each. So 4 of them makes 4 times 1/2 makes 2, plus 1 is the tetrahedron inside. So the volume of the cube is 3, and then we do the rhombic dodecahedron vector equilibrium, and we get into the A modules and the B modules, all in one poster. So that's pretty interesting, and those S modules are not mentioned in that poster, but that's part of the bigger picture. So is this really running when I'm not looking at it? That's a question from the other day, and I can sort of leave it alone for a little bit. It was turning blue. Yeah, I feel like it just waits for me to come back. Let's wait until it's like 99% blue and then go away and come back and just see. So this is plate 3 in Synergetics, which is online. You can get to this, test your navigation skills, see if you can find it. It's under color plates. It's been there for a long time. So the question is it really ethical, like, to not share the whole number volume stuff? Because this was going to be the future. We had a great futurist there, and people were upbeat about the possibilities, but it requires doing some homework. And people learn what they learn in school, and then they have a career. It's not like they want to go back to school. But work study is all about that. We all need to always be in school all our lives and working. So it's called work study. And images go through your mind about both what work and what study look like, but don't be too attached to any of those images. Okay, so stop. Go to the Repl here for a second. Take a look. Take a breather. Go back and look at that post. And now, is it still stuck on that? Yes. Okay. Anyway, lots of fun playing with software, and this is what we call the calculator of tomorrow, which means it's like a laptop. So you got an actual laptop, and not just a smartphone or scientific calculator. All right, we'll talk to you soon.